Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
Good, man. Just I've been like digesting all these auctions, It's a lot.
Were there auctions ending tonight?
Yes, just a couple. Someone actually like in one of the comments on our live was like, "What auctions are ending tonight?" And I was like, "I hope you're joking." That's a good troll.
You
Big
never
time
know.
auction.
You never know. All right. As people pour in,
Ugh.
I'll set up the show. Today is Saturday. Saturday, October 23rd. Welcome to the crossover. Do you have any mail days to do?
I do. Yep.
Let's go. I have two as well.
Oh, well then I shall go first today because I feel like you usually go first. Not that it matters.
What's up, Supreme Sales?
Let's see.
Hello to
All
everybody.
right.
By the way, let's go.
I'll start with CP3, and I have a LeBron mail day. So I still collect LeBron. Believe it or not. Let's see.
Nice.
2006 finest gold. Out of 50. So there's one. Pretty cheap. I think that one was like $400. I think the LeBron ended for like 20 grand tonight. This has always been my favorite finest design, and I like them also because they're numbered to 25. And this one happens to be jersey numbered.
Oh, love it.
I paid a little premium for the jersey number, but again, so cheap compared to LeBron. I was like, yeah, whatever. That's cool. I got a jersey numbered one. I usually don't care that much about that. Another exquisite. I showed you this one, but you're right, man. These Hornets patches, they're nuts.
They're unfair. It's cheating.
Chris Paul had a terrible game tonight. The Suns got clobbered. So maybe the cards will go down in price and I can get more. All right, LeBron. PSA 9 X-Fractor. They didn't do gold this year. So this is kind of like the gold to me for this year. These are out of 50. So same print run as the golds in the other years, but for some reason they didn't do gold this year.
Damn, dude. There's not an angle to hold that card at where it doesn't just absolutely pop.
Yeah, I love this card, man. I love it. That's the third time I've owned it, so don't let me sell it. I've owned 3 of them now. I'm like, oh, I'm never selling it. I'm gonna sell it, idiot.
All right, let me do my. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent mail days. I should have been the opening act here for those,
No.
but here's one. This is a 2019.
Whoa, Luka.
Luka.
Let me guess, 1-1.
That's the only way I would be. And I guess this is kind of the thing that distinguishes the card is the logo and the reflective foil on it. I think I don't know much about this set at all. It popped on eBay. The price was excellent. Need to get it reslabbed because they thought it was a base card apparently. But that's fun.
Oh, that's an easy process. I just did that with that LeBron. It's pretty easy. I can help you with it. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, because like I need to get I need platinum 1 of 1 right there. I mean, this card is so plain. You can barely even see the 1 of 1, and just it's a very simple distinction. So I need that label to say what it's supposed to say. I have a few that actually need to get relabeled.
Yeah, it's free too.
Nice. Okay.
It is free.
Here's number 2. CMAC, first year football standalone Nebula, 1 of 1.
Wow.
It pops. I like this card.
I know you like those nebulas. This is your first nebula, right?
That's my first nebula.
Excellent.
Oh, Christina says we have pulled nebulas before. That's true. Okay, so fun little mail days here. Wow, we've got a lot of people on here tonight. Are people like waiting for us to comment on something?
I think they want to know what we think of these auctions, bro.
Yeah, so let me tell the chat really quick. Josh's screen is showing the auctions, and if you want to make the chat go away temporarily, just tap the screen. Just tap my bald head one time. It'll make the chat go away. Tap it again if you want to bring it back. So just a little tip there in case you want to see the screen a little more clearly. Okay, so those were mail days. Had a couple of people, mostly 90s basketball cards, writes in. He says, can you guys talk about the Golden Elite and PWC Premier? Mike K says, is this weekend setting up to crush the record for sports card sales volume? And Jesse Pender had a question about a specific card. So yeah, so let's review these auction results that we have so far.
Slabs Diamond says that Jeremy sent everyone over.
Shout out to Jeremy. I was watching Jeremy before this show as I was getting ready for this show. So shout out Jeremy. Okay. Yeah, let's break this down, man.
Sure. Do you want to start with Golden and we'll hop over to PWCC?
Yeah, let's start with Golden.
All right. I'm going to sort by highest price. So the Mantle PSA 8 did 1.65 pre-BP. Those mantles just keep going up. Stop me when you find something interesting to talk about. I mean, the LeBron jersey number obviously is the biggest card. That sold for $2 million pre-BP. I know some people were expecting that to go a little higher. I personally think that's about right. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not a jersey.
It's like with buyer's premium. Golden's buyer's premium is 23%. But they'll probably get knocked down to 20 because the guy will pay by wire. So probably 2.4 for that card.
2.4. And the 8.5 on the last auction with an absolutely insane patch did 1.3, I think, 1.35.
Okay.
So the multiplier is about more than 2x because if you factor in the patch, you're talking about a multiplier of more than 2x. So I thought that seemed about right, but it is the jersey numbered LeBron Exquisite. I would imagine some guys really, really want that one, kind of like the best of the 99s,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's low or I guess some people are telling me it's low, but I'm not sure. It feels pretty good to me.
Yeah. I mean, two sides to that card. Number one is that literally the only thing distinguishing it from any other copy outside of the patch and the placement of the auto is what the little serial number says. It's the same damn card otherwise. So how much of a premium do you want to put on that? But on the other hand, that little serial number being lined up with his jersey number makes that card almost like a one of one. Because after all, what differentiates a one of one from a bit like the Luka thing that I showed? It's just a little stamp. That's really the only thing differentiating it. So I see two sides to the jersey numbered coin.
Okay, so the Brady champ. I feel like there's been a lot of these. So another 8.5. This one does 1.25 pre-BP, kind of in line with the other ones. So here's something interesting. The Kobe logo man is outdoing the LeBron logo man. The Kobe's still going. It's at 750 pre-BP, still going. The LeBron ended at 575. The Kobe, I believe, is the first ever logo man pre-Exquisite. This is the year before Exquisite, so there's probably a pretty decent multiplier there for having something pre-Exquisite. And then the LeBron is an ultimate. It's kind of an off-brand or secondary brand, and the auto is not a 10, I don't think. Yeah, the auto's a 9. Those factor in, but still, those are two sick cards. I mean, would you rather have a LeBron Exquisite 99 or a Logo Man auto 1 of 1 from a non-rookie?
Ooh. Well, the market has answered that, right? Like, even if that was like a 9-10, that would have made how much that would have added 20% to the price, maybe? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably would have to start by having an RPA.
This auto is not good. It's not a good auto. Like the pen is really thin. It's dark. It goes off the card. It's not a good auto. Just being transparent. All right, let's keep going, man.
That's such a cool card, though. I love the 1 of 1, so that's a tough one for me.
Dude, vintage. Here's my theme of the night. The cards are on fire across the board. Freaking every player, every set, everything. This card did 650 pre-BP, 650,000. I don't know what the last one of that sold for. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, last one did 861 with with BP. So and that
down a little bit.
Yeah, that was also with Golden.
So the Kobe Credentials rookie PSA 10 Pop 4, which is insane. a Kobe rookie pop 4. This one did 500 pre-BP. That's pretty crazy. The controversial PSA 10 versus BGS 9.5 Mahomes. The story has been told. People want PSA 10.
Well, the 9.5 hasn't ended yet. The 9.5 doesn't end until tomorrow night.
Okay, what's it at though? It's at 180, and the PSA 10's at 485. So like, I don't know if you're gonna win.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's see what the 9.5 ends at.
Well, we could be doing this all night, and we got other stuff to get to. So let me go a little bit quicker here.
Sure.
Jordan Red 325. Jordan PSA 10 Fleer at 300 pre-BP. That feels like it's up quite a bit, right?
Yes, that'd be 360 now for that card. I'm just using card letter over here to see what the last price. Okay, yeah. So the last sale was 344. That was 2.5 weeks ago with Golden.
So it's up a bit.
Up a little bit.
This one I thought was really interesting. It's a pretty like in the tier of like triples. This isn't like one of the better ones, and this sold for 262 pre-BP. That's incredible. So like the triples are going insane. Those three guys. I think that like the duels of LeBron and Jordan and Kobe and Jordan did like significantly less. So there's a huge premium on all three together.
Yeah. Well, you know what's going on, I think guys, especially maybe newer guys, are like, I can't decide if I want to do Kobe, LeBron, or Jordan. And I see like an upside and a downside risk to each of those guys. So let me just do all three.
So those guys are also saying to themselves, let me spend $300,000 on a card?
Yes, they are. Hey, can we talk about the LeBron Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor for a second?
Sure.
Here's why I want to talk about it. So look, the last time that card sold, it did 21,000 on August 20th of 2018. Okay, 21,000 on August 20th of 2018. That was the last sale. It was the best ARP on eBay. Using Card Ladder's total market index predictive pricing methodology, we put the value at 410, and it ended up selling for 360 with BP.
Wow.
Actually, a little bit more because the BP is 23%, so like maybe about 370 with BP. So sold for 370. Card Ladder value went with the low confidence level, 1 of 5. Last sold date over 3 years ago, and nailed the prediction.
Nailed it. This card is amazing. I know you don't like Jordan Exquisite, but look at that patch. Woo! That sold for 171 pre-BP. This was my favorite card in the auction. Freaking amazing card. This is one of Jordan's first playing years autos. The ticket, really nice grade. Sold for 161 pre-BP. That's incredible. Well, I guess people aren't worried about Zion being fat.
What's up, Ken? And I see, let me send a shout out to Shine in the chat as well. What's up, Ken? Congrats on a great night, man.
Yeah, these auctions are incredible. Again, just staggering numbers. The Zion ended at 141 pre-BP. Wow, did you see this?
Dude, some people were talking about this one, yeah.
141 pre-BP for Anthony. But this is like one of his lowest number RPAs, right? Incredible.
What was it, out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Emerald, yeah, so I don't know what the FOT, yeah, definitely one of the lowest.
Look at this one. I think it was 121 pre-BP. Holy smokes. People were all up in arms when the PSA 10 sold for 100 and the 8.5 sold for more. So soccer is doing pretty well.
Wow.
This is a great card.
That's right, Ken. Ken says Card Ladder's going to be doing 5 emails a day for the next 10 days filled with record highs from this auction. Yeah, you're right.
We might need to expand it, Ken, from 10 per email to like 50 just so we can catch up.
Thanks for making our job easy, Ken. Not hard to find the record highs.
We automated all that all-time high stuff, and it's like pretty efficient now, but I think this might throw a wrench in the algorithm. Stop me if you see something else, man. I don't want to spend like 2 hours on this, but there's just so much awesome stuff. I Here's a steal. I don't know that like is such a silly word to say, but maybe it's because of the white specs on it. But this sold for 71 pre-BP. I just all this like Jordan Rubies PNG stuff. A lot of it's gone parabolic over hundreds of thousands, but this one, I guess it's just these white specs on it, but it doesn't bother me that much. It's a great card.
That is a great card. And PSA stands behind their grade, man. So and you're protected by the guarantee if you bought that over this auction as a secondary marketplace acquisition. So you can always send it back to PSA to get it regraded, and they'll assess the grade and they'll take care of you if it's off. So worth bearing that in mind as well. It's one of the things that makes PSA the industry leader is they stand behind their grade.
I was after this one. I was the high bidder for like a week, and then I got absolutely like destroyed tonight. I went like double what I was willing to bid. Just, I think this card's cool. I don't know why people. I get that it's like the variation. It's the horizontal version, but dang, that's a sweet card.
What did it go for?
65 pre-BP.
What a cheap piece of junk.
Dude, absolute trash. Dude, everything is so. Cards are just on fire. There's nothing else to say. Like you can complain, I complain. I've been caught complaining on these lives about cards, going under what I thought. I've turned a new leaf. The whole market is just absolutely on fire. There's nothing else to say, Chris. Like I was texting before. If we would have told you these prices 2 years ago, you would have thought that we were just like aliens from space, lying, making shit up. It's incredible. This market is just. What else is there to say?
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let me talk about this one for a second. This Pele PSA 6, 121 pre-BP. So that's about 145 with BP, maybe a little bit more. The last sale of that card would have been 50 in November of 2020. So that's a monster all-time high for the soccer GOAT. Also, saw a couple people in the chat call attention to this card. 2016 Bowman Chrome Juan Soto PSA 7, the red out of 5.
Wow.
222 pre-BP. Cool cards. We kind of glossed over. I don't know if we talked about this. This brown cardboard box sold for $1 million. What do you think's going on there?
That's a case, my friend. That's 3 boxes of exquisite.
I think it's a mystery box.
That's incredible. It's freaking incredible.
I definitely blew past the baseball and the wax. Sorry, guys.
We stick to what we know.
I know. I'm like, yeah, look at that brown box. Here's something interesting. The James Harden, we've been talking about collecting guys who aren't GOATs and, kind of the second tier guys. James Harden RPA is at $56,000 pre-BP, still bidding. So there's still a lot of love for other players. And I was looking at Chris Paul. His stuff went bananas tonight. I didn't even have a shot.
Here's a fun one. Super fun one. 1971 Terry Bradshaw PSA 10 rookie. $350,000 before the buyer's premium, so well over 400 with the BP, well over 400. And so I went over to Card Ladder and I wanted to see, if what the previous 10s had sold for, because apparently it's a pop 3, and we're not even tracking the PSA 10 right now, so that probably we couldn't find any historical sales of it. So I'll be adding that card to the Card Ladder database. 300, so well over $400,000 for Terry Bradshaw's PSA 10 rookie card. That's incredible, man. I mean, wow. That's nuts. That's vintage football, man. Didn't Nat call it? I think he did.
Yeah, he didn't give us much time to go buy a bunch of stuff, did he?
No, he didn't.
All right, so look, that's what I was talking about. This is like the same set. and it's a dual, and it's a PSA 10, and it's sold for 46K pre-BP, and the triple in a much lower grade sold for 300. You know, it's like, wow, people really want those triples.
Dude, the triples, man, those are quietly gaining steam. I don't hear anybody talking about it, but man, those are really gaining a lot of traction price-wise.
And here's another, here's an example of a dual, which great dual. It's a great card. It's got same number, higher grade. It's got Jordan and LeBron. I think it's a nicer looking card, whatever. That sold for 45K pre-BP, and the triple again over 300. So crazy.
Wow.
Look at this one, Kobe Bryant Black Mamba. Woo. Go jersey number. Holy shit!
What an inscription on that card. That's incredible. So we've got the 1920 Bundesliga Holland PSA 10. This is the red refractor out of 10, around 150K with BP once you factor.
Wow. So soccer's doing pretty good.
Soccer's doing pretty good, man. Oh, this nothing to see here. Just a 34 Gaudi Lou Gehrig. After BP around 155, 160. Let me see if I can find the sales history on that card. I'm pretty sure Card Ladder's track. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's no, actually, yep, that's a big record high for that card. The last time that card sold, the last time the 33 Gaudi PSA 8 sold, it did 138K. That would have been about 2 months ago. That was with Robert Edward Auctions. Really cool looking card. That yellow pops. If I can get the image to open. That yellow pops. But then tonight, Golden's price after BP is factored in shattered that price. So vintage baseball doing quite well. No surprise there. I mean, God, this auction is just, the diversity of the offering is really something. It's really, you've got so many different genres blended in here. Guys like us, our eyes go right to the basketball and the football, big names and stuff, but it just, everywhere you look, incredible prices on stuff here tonight. So
yep. Let me give a little love. Let me give a little love to CP3.
Yeah, let's do it.
30K pre-BP for the 2 out of 3 RPA. That's a very low number card.
That's a sweet card.
I might have to go for the other one tomorrow.
How about this? Giannis. The green Kaboom 1 of 1 Giannis sells for 81 pre-BP. That's the 1 of 1 right there for Giannis. BGS 9, 81K pre-BP, about 100 with BP. Oh, weren't there some NFTs in this auction? Let me see what happened there.
All right, come on.
I need to see what happened with the NFTs. Okay. I thought this was this. So this did 9.5, 26, and 36. PP Kachu or Pepe. Pepe Kachu. So there you go. Some NFTs ended tonight as well.
So you just made me look at NFTs and Kaboom back to back. Can we please move on? God.
I think Chris just lost hosting privileges for the crossover.
You want to come host?
People are like dropping off the live. Thanks, Chris. Why don't you show some more frog pictures on baseball cards? Thank you.
Anything else in the chat, you guys, that we should pay attention to here? I see a Jordan Interlake PSA 10. That's Gary V sent out a tweet today that said, "While everybody's looking at NFTs, I'm back to looking at sports cards again."
Now that
You
now
like
that he's
that?
dumped all his NFTs on you guys, back to sports cards. God.
We did have a question come in about the Jordan PMG Red. The question was, do you think the BGS grade is generous? Honestly, I don't think so, considering how BGS historically has graded these. That looks like a pretty strong 8.5 to me. But I guess let me see what the question was actually, what grade would PSA give this card? Okay, that's what the question was. That's a PSA 2, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I crossed my BGS 6 to a PSA 4. You crossed your BGS 8 to a PSA 5. So that's a strong PSA 6.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 for sure.
Like
the thing is with
90
these
stuff.
cards,
PSA.
the thing with these cards is that PSA guarantees the grade and the authenticity once they've assessed it as authentic. I just can't speak highly enough about that policy, especially on cards from the 90s and earlier. So
You seem to like that policy.
I have a nostalgic tie to it because I actually was the one person in the hobby who sat there and read it. So like I like it for that reason. It means something to me now. But it's just a great policy, and honestly, it should be the policy, in my humble opinion, of all grading companies. They should stand behind the grade. And if that means the grading service has to cost more, which it probably does, in order to afford that insurance level, do it. So that's just one guy's opinion.
Dude, you know who's like incredibly overpriced? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. People are still paying for him.
What did that go for?
$22,000.
Per EBP?
Yes, he's like literally like 3 times the price of like other Hall of Fame point guards. So I won't name names, but
Wow. Okay, so they're saying I won't name names. Okay, so they're saying Gary bought the LeBron refractor Topps Chrome PSA 10.
great. Okay.
Type in Hank Aaron. A couple of people asking for Hank Aaron.
We got to start going quicker, Chris. I know you don't like to move fast, but I gotta move quicker. We haven't even touched PWCC and it's already 9:30.
Okay, all right, let's go. This will be the last.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at?
Numbers on a screen.
Oh, the helmet sold for 180 grand. That's pretty high. Oh, hold on. What is this? Photo match to career home run 714. This is the record tying home run, tying Babe Ruth. The helmet he wore. Look at that. 180 grand.
That's really neat. It's nice to see memorabilia and cards escalating in price
Together.
simultaneously. Yeah.
Yeah, as it should, man. I think you know what it kind of comes down to for me. I just remember you making a really awesome post about how like modern society values, sports figures similarly to how people used to value businessmen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I just always think that's so interesting because maybe that's one of the primary drivers. Everyone's looking for a reason why all this stuff's happening. And it's like we're looking for all these reasons, COVID, card nostalgia. But on the same token, if the memorabilia is doing so well, then it's more than just like the card nostalgia, right? Because it's more about like the sport, the athletes, the sports themselves.
Oh yeah, I tie it into ticket prices as well. When prices at like the Super Bowl, tickets to the Super Bowl are going for 6 figures and up. It really just speaks to the place that sports have in our collective hearts in society and how much we value them. In society, we've moved into this. Every year that passes, we get more and more. We emphasize leisure activities more and more, and in activities that relate to necessity, they become less and less important. And sports fandom, it bridges a lot of our primal instincts and our emotions. It bridges them with our leisure time and our leisure activity. It's kind of the perfect harmony of, it just captures what life right now is about. Sports fandom does. I won't go further than that. Okay. All right. Shall we move on terrific
Yeah.
golden auction, and congrats to Ken, congrats to the team, congrats to the consigners, congrats to the winners. Everybody, great job. Apologies to the losers. That's the one group that we feel bad for tonight.
Yeah, me.
Apologies to Josh.
I don't care about any of this stuff. I lost. That's all that matters.
Let's talk PWCC Premier. What do you see? Anything jumping out to you? Did he get up and get a beer? He may have. A truly.
You probably got a margarita to go with all that salt.
Oh. Shout out to you can't see it. Oh well. I guess they don't get any pub tonight. Sorry, Truly. Oh, by the way, this is a new 12-pack. I went through the sponsored ones, so I don't know what the over/under was, but I think I made the under there.
You were making those last. You were really making those last.
All right, PWCC. So the Brady, another Brady 8.5. We should get the dueling. Who won that one? PWCC or Golden? They both had the same grade, same card.
Same subs?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, let's see. Subs always leaves a little wiggle room.
It looks like the Golden one did more. And the subs, let's see, 8 quarters.
Ken came with that answer quick, didn't he?
The Golden one definitely went for more, and the subs on the let's see, +1 even. The subs on the PWCC one are better.
Wow. Well, there you go. That settles that. In fact, if you apply the 23% BP, the gold one actually sold by 97,500 more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Golden won that one by 100 grand, and the PWCC subs are a little bit better. All right, let's keep moving.
Pretty crazy that 2 copies of a card out of 100, and a BGS 8.5 is the second best grade available of that card. 9 is the highest grade. 2 copies can run the same night and still sell extremely strong. That's pretty amazing.
All right. The Hank Aaron PSA 9 sold for $504. I like that card. I'm not a big vintage guy, but for some reason this Hank Aaron one is just so cool.
Let's see some historical sales data on that bad boy.
I'll keep going while you look that up. Triple LeBron, KD, Kevin Garnett, 200K, Logo Man. PSA 10 out of 15 Mahomes RPA, 360. What do you got?
That Aaron was not quite an all-time high.
Ooh.
Heritage set the all-time high in February at 645K, but it's the second highest reported sale.
I personally added a bunch of vintage cards to Card Ladder today.
You did.
And I noticed a similar trend where they kind of had this meteoric rise up until about 6 months ago, and then they have all kind of leveled off since then. And maybe, vintage has leveled off quite a bit, and there's another example right there. That's kind of interesting.
Hey, Josh, were you working on the 72 Topps Cohen's base card?
I gave up on that, yes.
Because there's a bunch of sales pending.
Oh, I started to add that one, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I only did the ones where it's like, man, I can't screw this up. The other one, that one has a little tricky.
I just deleted the sales.
All right, the Brady PSA 10 auto. I don't know how I feel about this stuff, Chris.
Yeah.
Where it's like he signed it after the fact. I'm not a big fan. I know people went crazy for this card, but
no, it's aftermarket auto. On Brady is a little bit different because he doesn't have a ton of
true
pack issued autos to salivate over, but still I'm with you, man. I would rather have that card without the autograph.
Because I can tell, like, even if you didn't tell me, if you covered the label, I would be like, that's a post production autograph. It's like not meant to be. Like the auto is kind of weird. I don't know. Still sold. People want it. It sold for $360,000.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Wow, look at this Luca.
Yeah,
Out of
that
5, flawless.
the winner is known privately of that card, and if he's watching, congrats, buddy. Flawless Luca. Flawless stuff is doing very well right now.
I probably only need 3 guesses to tell you who won that one.
Yeah, but you only need one guess, and
Really?
Yeah.
You want me to guess or no? Not on the live.
Well, yeah, not on the live because I don't know if he wants. I'll let him reveal.
Look at this. Speaking of boxes, 2012 Prism sealed case, 12 boxes, $144,000.
Wow. So what does that break down to per box? Exactly 144 divided by. Oh, that should be 12. Yes, 12 times 12 is 144. I did not.
That's
forget.
good math. You should work for a card company. That's good math. I think
Yes, no, thank you. We shouldn't have even had to. I busted out the calculator.
So okay, Kawhi 9.5 did 20K. I think it did 20K pre-BP on Golden.
Okay. Damn, there was 2 Kawhi 9.5 RPAs running against each other as well.
Well, there's 199. Yeah, pre-BP, the Kawhi on Golden did 20K, and on PWCC it did 20K post-BP, and the patch is better on the PWCC. There you go, guys. We're just doing the math for you here.
Or not, dude.
Oh, here you go. Look at this guy.
Yeah. Oh,
Look at this son of a gun.
So the great Lamine James, well-known Tyler Hero fan, said that that the Luca Prism Gold PSA 10 sold on PWCC. It went for less. It went for $50,000 less than the NT Gold BGS 9.5 on Golden tonight. $50,000.
Ooh.
The Golden NT out of 10 BGS 9.5 did 198, and what did that one do? About 150 or so.
Yeah.
So that I think that Trey Gold relative to the NT RPA Gold went low.
Gotcha. Well, now that I collect Chris Paul, I'm gonna be even fucking more critical of Trae Young. You're gonna make this point guard. You're gonna make this point guard 150,000, and the Chris Paul's like best card, exquisite number to 3 sells for 30,000. I'm gonna stop there because people are gonna think I'm pumping, so I'm done.
Pump it up.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Jordan Jambalaya 108, Luca. Oh, I remember I was like ragging on this card a while back when it sold for like 100 and whatever the hell. It's down to 90.
Yeah, we have that one in Card Ladder as well. Those keep on popping up. Okay, so the Card Ladder value put it at 105. The last gold was 96. So that means Luca's market has been coming up since July, but that card went down. So you never like to see that. When a high-end card is trailing behind a player's total market index, it's usually not great.
The infamous armpit card.
Yeah. There's an armpit or 2 on display in that card.
There's a cool one, Josh Allen cracked ice. You know how much I love the cracked ice.
You do like those. What did that sell for?
25. So PWCC shows you the post BP price immediately after the auction. Golden, you gotta do the math yourself until they post the results.
Yeah,
so we're struggling with that. Us math people are struggling with that right now.
We are mightily struggling.
Dude, you should have freaking bid on this.
Oh, I know who won that too. What did it end up going for?
29. That's not bad.
No, dude, hold on. A Michael Jordan 97-98 insert. The only Super Rave from that year. The base set did not have it. Only the subset had it. Out of 50 in a gem for $29,000.
Are we not paying you enough?
nowhere.
Well, you're sitting over there buying freaking C-Mac. Buy a Jordan. God.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. Is like you don't expect anything Jordan's going to go that low, but and the guy who won it definitely did not need any more BGS 9.5 Jordan Grays.
He's got walls and walls.
Yeah.
Well, this tells you what people think of Herbert relative to Josh Allen.
They like
Same exact card, same grade, almost double the price for Herbert.
Wow.
Give me Josh Allen, dude. Give me Josh Allen. That guy's a beast. I mean, they're both great, but... Oh, and that's the optic. That's not even the right one.
That was the Contenders optic.
That's not even the right one. That's the optic. Oh, here's the real comparison. The real Contenders did 50 and the Allen did 25. Double the price for the Herbert over Allen. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. Allen's done a lot more.
What did that Jordan Platinum Portrait go for?
People are like screaming at me in the chat to hit on every card, but sorry guys, I can't do everything. 58, 59.
Dude, that triples the last sold price. We have that in Card Ladder. That triples the last sold price, which was just a year ago. So that's a huge, huge price for that card. Dude, I never thought I would see the day in my life when a Michael Jordan Platinum Portrait card would sell for $60,000.
I remember when you and I and all the collectors used to watch the PWCC auctions and years ago, and you know a PSA 10 would sell, and all you Jordan guys would be like, "Oh my God, Jordan PSA 10 stuff is on fire! Oh my God, it's like $5,000." Now it's like 60 grand.
Yeah, and now we don't talk about it. We don't care.
And now you're like, man, geez, Jordan stuff is dipping. My God. That's like, we need some, like, people need some context here a little bit. Like, 5 years ago, dude, this stuff is like, it's like 20x. It's 20x.
What do they do here, man? Right? Like, let me give some context.
20x. And I still see people on Instagram posting stories complaining about prices being too low. And I'm guilty of it too. I've posted about prices being too low, too high, whatever. This stuff is, like, the whole market is just incredible.
Okay. Dude, Jordan Platinum Portrait. This is the graph on a card.
$6 grand.
Like I said, the last sale was 16 grand last July, or a little under a year and a half ago, July 2020. Dude, this card in 2019. Okay, so almost 3 years ago, January of 2019, $4,500.
10x.
$4,500. If you go back, 3 years ago it was 3,300. Almost 3 years ago on the dot, it was 3,300.
I vividly remember all of you guys, like you and Rodman, all you Jordan guys, like, oh my God, 5K, who the heck is paying this stuff for PSA 10s?
Dude, you said 20x. Literally, it's up 20x over 3 year span.
Here's a cool one. You want me to pump this for you?
Pump that one hard.
You have a 9.5 and with not no green, but like pretty much no green. So what's yours worth, right? You know what I mean?
$2 billion.
2B.
Thank you, sports cards.
That's my favorite. If this one's worth this, what's my card worth?
What does that make my Christian McCaffrey Nebula worth?
At least 2B. Brady, black, that's a cool card. 96 grand.
Oh, yeah. A couple guys were talking about that on Instagram. Damn. So a Tom Brady select field level 1 of 1, 100 grand.
100 grand. $100,000.
Is that guy good at football or something?
Tommy B? Someone in the chat was like, I think Tom Brady's still undervalued. I'm like, holy crap. He's like 5x in the last year. Come on, guys.
10x in the last year.
Have some excitement over your guy going up so much. Just enjoy it.
Dude,
I beg you.
there was so many cards that ended tonight. Who the hell even can keep track of all this stuff?
I know. Card ladder.
You need software to keep track of it all. I mean, how do you even? There's so many amazing cards that sold tonight. It's unreal.
You're gonna have a busy night. I know those PWCC ones came through, and Golden's gonna come through soon. So
yeah. Let's see. Let's see how many sales we're looking at tonight.
the beauty of software, my friend. I'm just sitting back, drinking my Truly, and the wheel turns.
Oh, only 1,800 sales tonight, and that's across PWCC, MySlabs, and eBay. That's not bad. That's not
And the
bad.
Golden. I mean, wait till Golden comes in, dude. That's gonna be a busy ass night.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
Oh, this one sold for 20 grand. What? That's too high.
Curry, did we touch on the Curry NTRPA?
I think it
9.5
did.
sold?
360 pre-BP?
Yeah.
Nope,
Yep.
I passed the one. That's pretty good, right?
That's with BP. That's a step down from where it had last sold. That card had last sold. That card has 2 sales recorded, 450 and 430 from February and May. So it's actually quite a step down. I wonder if there's something to that card, or I mean, it's not even min subs. It has a 10 centering, and
I think a few of them have sold recently, so maybe the people that wanted them have them, kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
The show needs a undervalued gong, or like a bell or something where I go undervalued, because that just is like
An undervalued gong.
yeah.
Let me see what I can do.
Remember Dwight's like a bell or like a gong, and he's like a gong.
Oh boy!
All right. I'm tired of looking at auctions. Can we talk? Let's do some questions.
Yeah, we'll get to some questions right now. Can you just reenact the Curry thing? Just like be like, oh fuck, be like, oh, damn it! All right, Josh.
Again.
Josh, what did the Curry NTRPA sell for, man?
I think it did 360. There you go.
Undervalued.
You have shitty speakers. You got a big ass monitor, but you didn't splurge on the speakers.
No, I didn't. All right, let's go on to some questions then, shall we?
Yep. I'll just put some cards in the background. I haven't even checked the chat. You guys are probably ripping on me tonight. Let's see what you got. Bring it.
All right. People want to talk NBA.
Let's do it. I'm very sad about the start of the season, but go ahead.
Well, let's rub that in right now. So she blinded me with Refractor says, I would love to hear you guys discuss the Lakers' style of play so far this season. I have my theory, but I would like to hear what you guys think. Have a great show. And shout out to She Blinded Me with Refractors. Great account. Follow the YouTube channel as well. There's a nice library of content on there.
It is fucking terrible. They look like idiots.
Is that your technical assessment?
The rotation is absolutely horrible. I don't understand why any team is still playing DeAndre Jordan. He's so bad. He's so bad. He starts and then he never comes back, because it's like, why did you play him at all? Carmelo looks bad. Westbrook looks bad. Don't ask me, dude. It's so bad. I can't watch their games right now. They're terrible. Give the people a real assessment.
No, I think you kind of nailed it. It's they've got a lot of stuff to figure out right now. They Horton Tucker being injured and Ariza being out are small wrinkles that are problematic. Like Avery Bradley's getting big minutes, and I don't even think he's had a chance to practice with the team hardly yet, but he's a good player. But I don't think the problem is the quantity of talents. I think it's how the talent is distributed, and there's duplicative skill sets, especially when it comes to Westbrook. And so there's going to need to be some new schemes and rotations figured out. And it's going to take some time probably to sort that out. But I mean, what's Brooklyn's excuse? They should basically be 0-2 right now. They had like a crazy comeback to win their last game, and they've got all their guys, and I don't know. It's just a weird start to the season. Really weird.
Yeah, the Bucks lost by like 50. The Suns lost by 30 tonight.
Yeah.
Suns destroyed the Lakers. I don't know. You know, we're not the guys to just like sit here and overreact to everything. So like, we're back to 82 games for the first time in a few years. So like, we're gonna have a full slate of games to determine the best team. So like, it's way too early. And obviously, the Lakers have LeBron and AD. Like, they'll probably figure a lot of it out and get better. The Nets are going to obviously be there at the end. So, like, it's way too early to make some of these predictions. But some of these Laker ones, it's like, I feel like I could be a better GM on those Lakers team. Like, you basically can sign whoever you want, and you just, like, literally sign 6 of the same player. You can't play any of these guys. I don't understand. You've like, there's not enough minutes to go around for all these guys. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I feel like I could have done a better job building that roster.
What do GMs do anyway, the other 364 days out of the year? I mean, yeah, they sign some guys, they trade some guys. What else? They sit in their office and think deep thoughts about rosters?
And you know that they have like assistants to do like the salary cap management stuff and like the tax laws. Like they don't even do the math. They just sit there and make the calls. They have their assistants do like the salary cap rules for them.
All right.
I'm coming for you, Palinka.
Cal's card says over under 25 games before Jason Kidd gets fired. So I had to look this up to make myself feel a little better after the first half tonight. And there have been coaches there's a coach, Dolph Shays, was fired after one game as a coach, one game. And there's several other coaches who have been fired after 2, 3 games, 5 games. So that made me feel a little bit better, hopeful. Look, if Jason Kidd continues to insist on running a 90s offense that is centered around feeding Porzingis the ball in the post, and then also, Dorian Finney-Smith posted up 3 times in their first game. He posted up 2 times all of last year. They're running an offense from 30 years ago. And, dude, they scored 44 points in the first half against the Hawks. They scored 45 points in the first half tonight. Something happened at halftime today, and then they went back to running Rick Carlisle's offense in the second half, and they blew him out. So Jason Kidd either needs to just do nothing, just sit on the sideline and do nothing, or he will get fired, hopefully. But I don't know. Is it Kidd's fault? Is it Cuban's fault? Is Cuban trying to get the most out of his Porzingis investment? Are they trying to set up Porzingis to get traded and juice his stats? I don't know, but, dude, Rick Carlisle looks like a freaking genius compared to what Jason Kidd's doing. Okay.
We said that last year. We liked Rick Carlisle. He's always got an innovative offense. He runs the system through Luka properly. Like, I don't understand why they fired him. They're just bored and they want to get someone who's underachieved at 3 other stops. Like, I don't understand it at all.
Dude, the only argument I conceivably had was Kidd and Nico Harrison are going to bring in big free agents. That's the only conceivable argument, and it did not happen.
This isn't Alabama. It's not like you just sit here and pick whoever you want to join. There's a lot more restrictions in the NBA. You can't just sign all the best players because you have Luka. It's a lot more complicated than that. So what you actually need is a coach who can coach a modern offense and manage personalities. It's a tough job being an NBA head coach. Yeah. Only a few people can do it.
Definitely. And plus, the Mavs Moneyball podcast has documented all the outlandish things that Mark Cuban has said publicly that have offended NBA players over the years. And whether it was saying Russell Westbrook sucks the year that Westbrook won the MVP, and then Kevin Durant came out and called Mark Cuban an idiot. There's a lot of things that Cuban has said. Cuban says AAU basketball programs are not very good compared to European training basketball programs, and Bradley Beal, for example, a free agent that a potential future free agent or trade target that the Mavs would love to get. He runs an AAU division, so like Cuban has had so many of these foot and mouth issues that like it seems like maybe he might be one of the repellents that's making
He
players.
also said NFTs are better than cards, so
That's yeah. As soon as he said that, he was 6 feet underground in my mind. So, all right, moving on. UD Black Collector wants to know, can Porzingis get it done this year? No. Rick Carlisle had Porzingis figured out. Stand in the corner on offense and be a rim protector on defense. If he can do that, that's where he's going to thrive. Red Ripper Sports Cards, is the trade for Luka trade closer than we thought, or are the Mavs just that bad? Trae Young is a very good basketball player, and Cam Reddish, who was the other part of that trade, he was the high scorer in the Mavs-Hawks game, and then he had 19 points tonight. He's the second high scorer tonight. So, I don't know. Time will tell. Oh, we have a request to join the live, Josh. Would you mind bringing on? I think this is our guest who has the open invite. I'm going to bring him in. Maybe he has some NBA takes he wants to fire off. There he is with
Cheers,
the
guys.
solo. Cheers.
How you doing?
good. Congrats, Ken. Great night.
Thank you. No, it was a great night. Let me take care of a little bit of business first. Are you both good for next Thursday?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, I have to let Sharon go on first because Barry Bonds, who I expected might give me 30 minutes, was very talkative. What am I drinking? I am drinking vodka cranberry. So I think he went on for 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Wow.
She stayed up, and I knew she had to catch a flight, so I want to make sure we may be talking for a while, so I want to make sure we let her go first without being 11:30 at night again. Did everybody here see Barry Bonds?
I did. Great.
Barry Bonds, did the chat see Barry Bonds? Yeah, that was amazing. He showed us his house, talked about his career. I kept asking him if it was okay, then he just kept saying, yeah, ask me anything. So I asked him about the Hall of Fame, which is typically we talk about it. He and I talk about it, but I don't talk about it with anybody publicly. So he talked about it. Obviously, he would like to get in. But you remember 2 weeks ago, I did a live from Burbank. I joined Rob and Ryan on a live from their shop, and I brought like $30 million worth of product. The reason was I did not fly across the country to bring on. By the way, people want to know, and this is this is, what am I wearing? I'm in my sleep clothes, but this is Barry Bonds' 600 home run shirt, and this is a shirt that I did the deal for him way back in 2002 when he hit 600 home runs. But I have the new chairs, so I don't have my kitchen chair down here anymore. And I have the new table. This is now an official table. So importantly, when I break, you will not get any crotch shots because the table covers me. Because people complained about that. But the important thing is that I flew out there to do 2 sessions. One was in San Francisco and one was in LA. And I met with a hand-picked group of tech billionaires, millionaires, movie producers, athletes. Barry showed up, and other business people to teach them about trading cards, bring them into our world, see if maybe they sprinkle a little of their cash in our industry. Well, they sprinkled some of their cash in my auction tonight. The nice thing about those guys is that they don't mind their first purchasing being $2 million. So, which is always nice. But yeah, the auction tonight will not end up being our highest grossing ever, because the one that had the Kobe jersey that sold for $3.6 million and the wagon that sold for $3.7 million, that at $50 million is tough to beat. Hopefully I beat it next year. But it will be maybe the best auction for everything. When I mean vintage basketball, modern, ultra baseball, vintage baseball, modern baseball. I mean, you guys didn't even touch on. Did you see the Trout gold price? This is a guy who people are down on. They are very down on him. There, he's whatever he missed. Well, last year, and now he's injured this year, and now he's not going to put the numbers. I think it went for like 152 bid for 180,000. No, excuse me, 180,000 bid, like 220 all in for a gold, which used to be the price of an orange. So, and you look at some of the vintage prices. I mean, I think every vintage card that we sold was literally a record. Like the Hank Aaron rookie was a record. The Mickey Mantle was one bid. When I saw that price in memory lane, I was like, oh my God, $2 million for Mantle. It's never going to happen again. I don't know what happened. We were one bid away from topping it. The Burke Magic, one bid away from setting the record that we set a few months ago. Crazy cards that you may not know, like the 38 DiMaggio Canadian was an insane price. Some of the E98s were insane price. The 72 complete top set, all PSA graded, just absolutely positively off the wall. I guess people were expecting big. I mean, to me, the biggest surprise of the night was the huge price on Anthony Edwards. I mean, I expected, that was. I'm like, okay, I guess let's anoint him next. That's fine. People need different people to collect, but that was a big surprise. The Kobe logo man was great, but it is. And I saw somebody comment about redemptions a little bit earlier and said they think ball redemption went low. I am thinking the fact that in the lawsuit that's out there, Panini basically said, like in a legal document, that they're not legally required to honor redemptions. I think that's going to hurt all redemption values. That's why I hate friggin' redemptions, but it's out there if you Google it and follow it. So yeah, that was that could have been coming to play.
The LeBron 23 RPA, the jersey number.
I love that price. And I saw people, and you hit it right on the head. 1.3 for what may be, out of the 99 cards, the single best patch. Okay. If it's, I've never seen anything more intricate than that. I've never seen a real patch more intricate than that one. So if you look at that, 2.4 for the same grade with a significantly weaker patch just shows the strength of 23 of 99 and shows the strength of Exquisite. The fact that, that Exquisite case is the second most, here's my kicker, okay? Is the second most valuable case of product ever sold, second only to the 86 Fleer case that sold last year. So last year? Yeah, it was last year. I remember I was bidding on that and did not win. I think that went for 1.3 million, but $1 million for a case of Exquisite with 3 packs in it. 3 packs, $1 million. So it's and the wax. I mean, some of the stuff that took off, like you see the 86 Fleer Jordan went down for 4 straight months, right? Now it's getting a ladder. It's slowly climbing back up. The 86 Fleer box, point to one behind me. I think it was 260. So it's over $300,000 now for a box, which is the first time it's at that price in a while. So what it showed, and there was another auction that took place tonight that had a lot of expensive cards, and we still did this well. which shows two things. One is how much money is out there to buy, and two, if I am running an auction, do yourself a fucking favor. Don't close on the same night I'm going to close, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to your consigners, because I am going to overmarket and I am going to over-publicize the auction and make sure that we get, we get the bidders. So, I mean, I actually do that with, with Heritage. Like if they put out their book and I see we're supposed to close on the same night and they've got a huge auction, I'll talk to Derek Grady or Chris Ivey and say, hey, I can actually move mine, back a week. Can you move yours? And, because the big houses don't like to do that. We don't like to do that for purposes of the bidders. We don't want to make people choose, but it's a bad, it's a bad thing. I certainly don't think that we were affected in any way tonight, but what I'm really was here to say is that I'm so happy that the breadth of the market, every single sport, every sport. I texted one of my guys. Oh God, I can't remember the guy's name now. Oh God, is it John? The vintage soccer card. That is not my area of expertise. Okay, vintage soccer. John, C-U-Y. What's his name? I'm not hearing it. Did I just lose volume?
Chris, we can't.
Oh, here you go. Go ahead. Chris,
I muted my mic. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I know. I can't pronounce his name either, but I know. Yeah, Johan Cruyff.
Johan Cruyff. I said to Ben, who works for me and is like a big vintage soccer guy, I said, the question in everybody's mind tomorrow is going to be, who the hell is Johan Cruyff? And why did this card go for $100,000 and some when no one's ever heard of him?
I know. Look, we have him in Card Ladder because the collector I think that you're referring to was like, please add this card. He's like, this card's going crazy. I was like, I don't even know who the hell this guy is.
Yeah. It's like the first time I sold a Holland card, I saw him in the auction. I saw him like priced at like $10,000 minimum bid. I said to the consignment director, I said, this is like last year. I said, who is Irvin Holland and why is his card in my auction at $10,000 minimum bid? There he is. So $115,000, all-time record for his card by far. And then you look at, what was it? One of these cards sold for the Bradshaw. I know you don't track it, but I think that was like 6 times the record high for any Terry Bradshaw card. Like literally 6 times.
We talked about the Bradshaw. That was crazy.
Yeah, there's just so many people trying to buy, which the other question, again, there's so much crap to talk about. Upper Deck canceling hockey because they can't get paper. Flawless hasn't been issued. I mean, I think that, to me, when you have the opening tip-off of the first game, as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the prior season. I mean, you can't be putting out last year's product in the middle of a modern season, but there's still product that's not been put out, and I don't know if it will be put out. But what's the point? I mean, get on with the new product, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. The hockey basically canceling it, and like you said, basketball being way behind. This whole supply chain thing is a real issue.
Yep. But something? It's good for collectors. You know why?
Yes,
because there's going to be less product flooding the market.
Yeah, Chris and I talk about that all the time. It's like, we talked about that last week. It's like, this might actually be good for collectors because we want the rarity. Like, we want something that tastes. We don't want it to be too easy.
Yep. So, cool. What else you got going on? I figured I'd just stop by. Oh, I did forget one thing. By the way, my goal is that anytime I go on your live to stay on long enough so that each of you get at least 100 extra followers.
Thank you, Ken.
That's why my daughter always tries to jump in my live, because she goes, oh my God, I got so many followers from jumping in. I felt like when it's like when the Instagram handle, Fuck Jerry, joined my live.
Right.
And he's got 21 million followers. I was like texting him the next morning and I said, hey, Elliot, I think you got me like 300 young models that are now following me because maybe they figured they'll meet you through me. I don't know. But tomorrow, I can't say it today, but tomorrow after session 2 closes, okay, or after most of them, session 2 might not close till 2 a.m., but after most of the cards close around about 10:45 to 11:15, I'm going to go on the live and I'm going to make a monster announcement. And I've made pretty big ones this year. Pretty big ones, right? 2 very, very large ones that were corporate related. This is that type of announcement. And what I will say is there will be nobody that is disappointed in the announcement that I'm going to make tomorrow. Some of those other 2, there could be a couple people, oh, I didn't like you did that. I didn't like that. There will be nobody in the hobby that is disappointed by what I will say, but I do want to wait until most of the bidding tomorrow is closed.
Wow. Oh, that's a small cliffhanger.
Yep. So I will, unless you got anything for me, I will let you guys carry on. I figured rather than join your show from my guest bedroom so my wife didn't hear, I've got this beautiful set now and might as well walk downstairs, grab a drink, and give a call.
Ken, thank you for coming on, man. You're always welcome, dude. Anytime.
Great. Much deserved victory lap, Ken.
Congrats.
Thank you. Barry is at his house in California, but Barry and I will do a live together. Barry, literally, I said, when are you coming to New Jersey next? And he goes, well, I can't go next week. That's like, I meant in the next 6 months, but like he may be here in 2 weeks, so we shall see.
That'd be
so. Have a good night, everybody. I will let these guys carry on, and you literally have a lot of work. I mean, we counted about 75 or 80 records out of the 400 cards that closed today. So it was just insane, and yeah, I mean, I feel better about this. I mean, like even remember when I had the auction where the Black Label Kobe sold for like 1.8, and that was just such a great high. But there are other stuff in there that showed weakness and showed chinks, in my opinion. Yeah. Everything tonight, to me, is an upswing from where it was a month ago, which is, if you're in the hobby, if you have any inventory, is what you want to see. And those NFT prices weren't that bad either. I take your word for it. Pepe Honus Wagner.
I'll take your word for it. All right, Ken. Thanks for joining us, man.
Good night, guys.
See you, man.
What a night, Josh. What a night.
We don't disappoint on this show, do we?
We do not. There was a lot of people in the chat asking for Ken earlier, and they said, Ken, come on the show. Ken, come on the show. And so I really appreciate that he did come on. You really can't beat that. The night of what's gonna go down is probably one of the more memorable auctions, historical auctions in recent history. And there he was. And then he teased a huge announcement coming up tomorrow night. So that's pretty damn cool, man. I wrote down a couple of notes here. He kind of slid in there that he was doing some recruiting for the industry, and he was in California doing a little bit of that, and then some of those guys dipped their toe in during this auction. So that's outstanding for the growth of this industry. Okay,
Pretty soon we're gonna be collecting prospects here pretty soon, Chris.
Why is that?
We're not gonna be able to afford anything.
We're gonna be.
The hobby just keeps growing.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we got a couple more NBA questions we'll fly through. Chrissy Buckets wants to know, what are the main implications of the NBA's top 75 list for the hobby? Are there any surprises in there that may help or hurt player collectability?
I don't think it'll have that much of an impact because people have their own opinions anyways, but I think it could help certain players who like maybe were surprised to be on the list, or I mean, frankly, I was a little bit surprised at seeing CP3 on there, so it kind of got me a little more juice to keep going. Like, oh dang, he's top 75, and people are already putting him on that pedestal. Like, it made me feel more excited as a collector. So from that perspective, I can see how it kind of gives a little extra juice to folks who are seeing their guy who are maybe towards the end of that 75, they're in the list, they're excited about it. But, the fact that the first 50, they did the top 50, I think that was, 20 years ago or whatever, 25 years ago. They just, like, automatically included those 50, which I thought was silly. They should have redone the list entirely, but, like, because of that, we really only got 25 new players, so I don't know if it's going to be that much of an effect.
No doubt.
I mean, Chrissy's asking because Lillard's on the list, and like, if I was a Lillard collector, I'd be really excited.
Yeah, it's just something a little.
Call him out.
Something a little fun, a little extra. If the guy you collect happens to be on there. So.
And if it's not, like, I think Dwight Howard gets a boost because so many people are talking about Dwight Howard not being on the list, and maybe he should have been. Then, like, hey, maybe he should have been on this list. Maybe he should be more collected.
That's a great point. He probably should have been on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. In last one, in Cardboard Veritas, one of our great question askers, week in and week out, up there with Cards and Candy, maybe even coming up. Would like to know, in the last 30 years, has there been any more thrilling player to watch play than Steph Curry?
I mean, you're asking someone that was like, I'm a LeBron guy, so Steph's been like a rival of mine. I haven't really rooted for him, so it's hard for me to put myself in that spot. But I mean, he's definitely one of the most exciting, that's for sure. The guy is incredible. I don't know, just watch him play a couple games, and he's still doing it even now, and he's even probably better now than he was when they were winning championships, which is that's what's always kind of bothered me about professional sports is like people only want to talk about the guys winning championships, and it's just so much more than that. It's so much deeper. Curry's in my opinion, a better player now than he was when he was winning championships. It's just different circumstances, and he's having to carry a lot more of the load, and he's just incredible. So, enjoy him now while you can, and watch as much as you can of Curry, especially if you're a fan or a collector. And he's incredible. I don't know what else to say.
Right on. Okay, that'll do it for NBA talk. Mostly 90s basketball cards. We got to meet him in New York, David. He said, can we get a full recap of the Bleeker trade night?
Finally.
No, we're not going to do like a full recap. We'll keep it short and sweet. And when we get some imagery, like some of the photographs and stuff that were taken from that night, we'll probably touch on it in a little bit more depth on Sports Cards Culture, our YouTube show. But just in short, we were in Friday, we were in Connecticut and in New York. And so we went to Star Stock during the day and or Thursday, I'm sorry. And we went to Star Stock during the day and got to see their very impressive operation. We filmed with them their very first podcast episode that they ever did. Shout out to Kevin and Jess, who were on hosting it with us. Opened an optic box and hit a crazy card, but I won't spoil it from there. Really cool to see the Star Stock premises. Then we went down to Bleeker. It was awesome. Great trade night. I would estimate between 100 and 200 people ended up coming through. It's located in a beautiful part of Manhattan. I could just, and the weather was perfect outside. You could just let me have Groundhog Day of that day over and over again, and I'd be completely fine. And we got to meet lots of great people in the hobby while we were there. Including John Starks, who signed a custom piece of memorabilia, in fact. Here's what John Starks had to say. From the Bleeker Trading and Card Ladder event, he said, "To Card Ladder, continued success." As he dunking over Horace Grant and Michael Jordan.
What did you think of what was kind of the reception for you guys for us as Card Ladder? Like, what was the sort of, this is me being selfish, but I wasn't there, so I want to know what people thought of
It was
the
terrific.
Card Ladder. Yeah.
It was absolutely terrific. So first of all, like, we need to give a shout out to obviously Mark Zablo and his team, Jacob, Jess, and everybody there. Incredible hospitality. They just made us feel like family. It was outstanding. And something really cool happened that night. And I know you've seen it. It was the Adam Lefkoe's special that he did for TBS that came on before the game. For those who haven't seen it, you can go to Adam Lefkoe's page and see it. But basically, they did this awesome spot with Ken at Bleeker Trading. And so there's tons of imagery of the Bleeker store. It's a really awesome store, too. And so when that spot came on, they had a huge projector screen in the backyard, and everybody piled into the back patio area, and we all watched it together.
Oh, nice.
And it was one of the coolest hobby moments, I think, in my experience. And there was a little bit of Card Ladder imagery in that spot as well.
Yep.
Thanks to Adam Lefkoe and Ken and the producer team for making that possible. So that was a really cool pinnacle moment, right? So that kind of was a cap on the night, and then it was just a great trade night, dude. Really great night. Oh, I see Johnny and Charlie from Clubhouse. It was awesome meeting you guys.
Bleeker's in the chat too.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, Bleeker is just quickly became a GOAT hobby shop in my mind.
Joe, who's a super Starks collector.
Shout out to Joe, the Starks collector, man. That guy pulled up in a binder, man. He had a binder of John Starks grails, rubies, team night sheets that only one copy exists of. It was crazy.
What I love about Bleeker, for the last 5 years that I've been in the hobby, I've just been pounding this drum over and over and over that the next phase of the hobby needs to be a more cultural immersion. It needs to be more about, less about the breaking and the money and the wax and the cards, and more about the cultural tie that the hobby has to people. And I've always thought Shoes did a pretty good job of that, and I feel like Bleeker just nailed it. I think they nailed that whole vibe. It's a little bit more hip, a little bit more fun, and you know what I mean? It just feels more cultural, and I feel like they really hit on that, and a lot of these LA shops that are popping up are hitting on that as well. Coffee Breakers is kind of on that same kind of vibe of some of the old shops are a little bit more old school, and I've always felt like the next phase was just a more cultural immersion. Did you feel that?
Yeah, man. I mean, being in Lower Manhattan assists with that. So,
True.
Dude, you feel like you're walking around on a movie set. It's 75 degrees outside. Beautiful people everywhere. These quaint little, restaurants and $500,000 cars littered across the street, and you just settle into this incredible card shop there's actually two storefronts next to each other. One of them is like a museum. So the artist Andy Friedman was there displaying all of his sports card artwork. So half the store was just kind of dedicated to showing off this guy's collection. It was like an art showing. And then the other half of the store, had a nice TV setup. So we were actually watching Nat at one point during the night do a live break with Starstock.
Wow.
We were watching that from the flat screen inside the store. But when we were leaving, Cage, I think Cage had left, but Andrew from Luca Tigers LeBrons was opening a box of Optic basketball, and he was live broadcasting it, and it was just it was a lot of fun. Yes, Christina. What?
Nothing.
She starts gesturing to me, doing like this. Maybe she's telling me I'm going too slow. What do you have to say? Come recap something. Come here. You were there too.
God, you're
Go.
so annoying. Hi guys. The night was great. Shout out to Bleeker and Star Stock. Thank you so much for having us. I can't, their hospitality and generosity was just above and beyond. It was a great night. It was awesome to meet some of our crossover chat guys. And domestic violence on crossover.
Finish up your point. You keep.
That's all. I was just trying to say, don't make sure you emphasize how amazing everyone was. That's all I was trying to say. Shout out to Jacob and Jess and Mark, Eric, Anthony, just everyone we met. Couldn't have been nicer. And we look forward to potentially doing some things in the future. So look out for that.
I can't hold it anymore, Chris. I can't.
No.
I can't. This live needs to know that my jealousy was overflowing so much that I had to book a trip out to New York immediately. So I did.
You could have came to this one, guy.
I know. Well, that's how much of my jealousy overcometh me.
Well, good. We should do more stuff with Bleeker any chance we get. It was rock solid.
How about 1 month from now?
Sounds pretty good to me. Okay. Next.
If it's still in the chat, Mark, Bleeker, I'm coming. Set something up. Make it happen. Let's go.
Yeah, guys. Especially the first one went so well. This one will go even better. Let's do it again, Team Bleeker. All right. Mitten State Collector. This kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Mitten State Collector says, if you had to anoint a city or region as the hobby capital of the world, yep, Thanksgiving weekend. Yep, that's exactly the weekend that we'll be there again.
I'll be there through Tuesday. So if you guys need to do Monday, if Monday's a better night, let's do it Monday, Sunday, whatever. Let's do it.
And Christine and I have not booked our plans yet. We don't really have much booking to do. I think we'll definitely be there too. We're going to really, really try to be there too. So,
I'll get all the glory to myself.
Or Josh. That's more red carpet for Josh to have.
You know how much I love that. Christina knows how much I love all the attention.
Okay, all right. So what is the hobby capital of the world? Where would it be? What cities or regions have the biggest concentration of passionate hobbyists and businesses that are contributing to the hobby at the present? And before you say, here's some of the answers that came in, okay? Los Angeles / Southern California, Dallas,
Yep.
New England, New York, Taiwan, the Bay Area, the Midwest, and states without sales tax.
I wanted to give a shout out to, I'm gonna not pick a city, but the Philippines. They just have such a great aggregation of some of the best dudes in the hobby. So I wanted to give them a shout out because I feel like that was one that was gonna get missed, and you fucking missed it, so I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, New York. A lot of them are pretty obvious. We can just rattle off the big cities. There's a lot of great cities in Australia of collectors that I've come across. I wanted to give some love to Australia. And you and I have looked at the metrics on where people watch us from, and it's not what you think a lot of times, right? Australia and Philippines, we get a lot of support from those areas.
Canada too. Canada's always metrics as well.
South America, shout out Rodman. So
Rodman gets a whole continent.
He does. It's a worldwide hobby, and a lot of the deals that I've done on the Chris Paul stuff, I've gone far and wide. I've got stuff coming from Asia, from Australia, so it's everywhere, man. It's not like oh, this player is only collected in this city, or if you're in this city, it's only this player. No, dude. Every player, every city, all across the world. It's everything.
It is, dude. Right. But okay, but is there one that you would consider the capital?
This might surprise you, but just from where I came from in the hobby and like what I sort of saw to be the most important city in the hobby is Chicago.
I knew you were going to say it because you got a lot of early important experiences there. National, the Spectacular.
Yeah, and the reason that I say Chicago, and you pointed out, is like my early experiences, it's no coincidence that those experiences came from Chicago. It's because that's just been generally seen as like the hub of the hobby, and it's because of Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan and those Bulls teams, man, really sparked the hobby. They get a lot of credit for that. Michael Jordan alone carries massive weight on his shoulder for this hobby, and it needs to go noticed. And there's a big collector base in Chicago because of that. A lot of the shows are centered around Chicago. It's central. That's another important piece. It's very central to the United States, so it's a very good hub. A lot of international travel into Chicago. I think it's Chicago.
Good choice. James Beckett once made a podcast episode about a speech he gave about why it was Dallas. So he made a passionate case for Dallas being the hub, considering the company named after him is there and Panini is there, and other reasons. My vote would be Southern California. Probably for a very similar reason to you. I had a lot of early in-person formative hobby experiences take place when Christina and I were in Southern California, going to those trade nights at Burbank and hitting up, the trade nights at Bullpen. Those were first trade nights, but then going to Burbank and, picking up our case of National Treasures from Ryan at Burbank, finishing sets with Burbank, and now they all do trade nights in Burbank, and then like there's a lot of important, content that comes out of Southern California. She collects cards on YouTube, Sasha T, obviously. Lots of good content comes out of Southern California as well. So,
but I just want to say, after being in New York this week, like, I want to give them an honorable mention. Like, sure. I'm very new to the hobby scene in New York, but from what I've seen so far, they are killing it. So. Yep.
Dude, I fucking love New York City because I planted my flag in kind of a quiet city, very, very suburban, very family oriented. So if I'm going to travel, I want to be immersed in something kind of crazy. And New York is just like, it's just so, it's just so alive. Everything is just so like frantic and stressful. And it's like, if I'm going to travel, this is what I want. And so I'm pretty excited about this New York trip. And I'm excited to see what this Bleeker scene is all about, the vibes, as people call it.
It is a great scene. It's in such a beautiful part of New York, too. Like, we parked in this garage. We walked like 2 blocks. It was just fantastic. It was
Christina, is Christina listening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Chris this already, but the other top-ranked pizza joint by the Barstool guy, tied with Sally's, is John's at Bleeker, and it's right by the Bleeker store, so I'm definitely hitting that up.
Okay, but then we're going to New Haven, so I can give you real pizza.
Oh, gosh. New York is the pizza capital of the world.
Your, like, second place pizza, but
when we were in New York at Bleeker, she was like, "This is good pizza and all, but I'm from New Haven, and you guys, everybody should know what that means." Yeah.
That is not how I sound. I am not a pretentious, stuck-up little brat like that. Thank you.
Says the girl from New Haven, Connecticut.
But I did tell Mark, like, what order he should go to New Haven Pizza Joint, so he's not disappointed.
One of my favorite Office episodes is when Michael's like, "I'm in the city, gotta hit up a local pizza joint, Sbarro." Like, come on, Michael, we gotta hit something better than Sbarro.
Oh, so Bleeker saying we should do a pizza taste off while we're there.
Oh,
Ooh.
that could be good
The only
content.
problem is, like,
Hobby content. Put something on the line.
the only problem is, like, the New Haven pizza is gonna be like 2 hours old by the time we get to Bleeker.
Then we
So-
pick a location that's an hour away from both, and the cars travel at the same speed, and they
No.
Or,
I will. No.
Or we all do one at Bleeker, and then we all travel to New Haven, and we do a second in New Haven.
Thank you, Chris. Your idea is coming from the mind of like a Papa John's fucking eater. No, that's a terrible idea. You got to eat it at the
I was
best
trying to-
possible.
Oh, okay.
No, you can't solve problems with logic and pizza. You got to do it from the heart.
Oh.
Hey, Bleeker, are you in the chat? Is John's at Bleeker? Am I right? Isn't that like one of the best pizza joints in the city? Maybe I'm just crazy. All right, next question.
Next question. Scrambling 12. What are some tips for new card show attendees?
Tips for new card show attendees? Man, I hate to be a downer, but set your expectations that you're not going to find everything you want at the prices you want, and sort of approach it from the social aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here to meet people, connect, network, have fun, and I hope I find some cool stuff. But I think a lot of new people think they're going to go to these shows and, find like really good deals or find rare cards that they wouldn't find elsewhere. I would just say, like, set your expectation that's not necessarily the case, and it's more about the social part of it.
Yeah, and on that tip, there still are plenty of introverted people. I have an introverted streak, even myself, of going to a show and just, having a hard time because you don't know anybody. You just don't know anybody. And here's the thing. It doesn't need to be difficult or awkward because we all have the same thing in common. And if there's one thing about this hobby, everybody loves to talk about their own collection. So
Yeah.
if you ever need to just meet somebody at a show or start a conversation off, approach the first person you see and say, what do you collect? And go from there. So easy to make relationships and friendships in this hobby. Just start with that. And if anybody's like a little weird or they just seem off, just go to the next person, because 9 times out of 10, people at the show, they're going to be just like you, and they're also going to look forward to chatting with you and telling you about their collection.
Chris, you're the king of this. There'll be like awkward conversations happening. We're meeting for the first time, and Chris will just be like, tell me about your collection. What do you collect? And it's just such an easy icebreaker. Like, nobody at that show is like, oh, I don't want, I don't like my own cards. Like, no, of course they're gonna be like, let me tell you everything about it. And it's just such an easy icebreaker.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that's funny. We both went to the social aspects. People are probably wanting like negotiation advice or.
Yeah, negotiation advice. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good at the negotiation tactic.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pretend like you just gotta be in control. You gotta pretend like you don't really need the deal. Be ready to walk away. That kind of stuff. That's kind of more like experience and practice, really. You can't just like walk up to some big time dealer and beat them on a deal. It's just it takes a little bit more practice. So you just gotta like kind of work at that.
Yeah, there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. Okay, Cardi C, sports cards. Love to get a question from Chris again. Great YouTube content creator. He says, how do you determine the cash value of your collection? Because you have comps what the cards recently sold for, but if you take away fees and taxes, you might only see 75% of those comps in cash.
Yeah.
So what can be done to remove that friction in market value versus cash value? So what do you think?
Well, it's someone that just sold a significant card in his collection is paying the IRS as we speak. I've had to pay the IRS. The amount that you think your collection is worth on paper or in the card ladder value is, less because you got to pay the IRS, you got to pay fees. So I'm hitting that harsh reality. I just kind of chop off 30%, just to be honest, 30 to 40% of my collection value, just based on being a little bit more conservative, and also auction fees, taxes. That shit adds up, man. And you're like, God damn, I'm not actually getting $1 million for selling this card. That's the harsh reality.
Yeah, especially for people who may have bought the card 2-3 years ago, and so all the appreciation is profit. You're going to have a big tax bill. But that's also something to keep in mind, too, is that depending upon accounting practices, and this is not accounting or financial advice, but depending upon your accounting practices, you can structure your accounting in such a way that you pay profit. You pay taxes only on your profit. I saw some people sending some Twitter tweets out that were suggesting that if you have $1,000 card, you have to pay, and you bought it for $500, you have to pay taxes on the full $1,000. No, you don't. It depends on how you're doing your taxes. But in any world, no, you don't. If your cost basis is $500 and it's $500 in profit, you're paying taxes on it.
Plus, you can also run this as a business, and you, like, let's say this is not tax advice. Please speak to your accountant, and please speak with like a firm in your area. I beg you, because I've linked up with a firm that lives in my city and is local to me, and they've helped me guide me through this. But you can set it up as a business, and if you buy more than you sell in a year and you're taking on a lot of inventory and you're buying things, you get a tax write-off. And if you're selling a lot of stuff, you're taking a lot of profit on stuff throughout the year, you got to pay taxes. It's just like running a business. So there's lots of different ways to structure it. This is not tax advice. Please speak to your local tax advisor.
There you go. Okay, and to Cardi's question, you said, hey, you knock off 30 or 40%, just keeping a mental note.
I was just trying to think about it that way.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And then you'll get pleasantly surprised if it's better than that.
You and I have learned that life lesson in the last couple of years of under promise, over deliver, and it's the same in this scenario.
There you go.
You'll feel a lot better when you set that expectation. The expectation is everything, dude. If you think that your cards are worth $1 billion and you sell them for $100,000, you're gonna be really mad. If you think your collection, if you set the expectation is worth $50,000, you sell them for $100,000, you're gonna be really happy. That's the same sell.
That's well said. Okay, Jake, 90s B-ball card says, would you rather collect the best player on a bad team or the worst player on a great team?
Oh, worst player on a bad team for sure.
Best player on a bad team?
What did I say? Worst player on a bad team? That's just like the worst of worst.
That wasn't an option, but yes.
I would rather collect the best player on a bad team.
Josh wants to collect the 12th man on the Houston Rockets.
I want to collect
Some people
Trae Young.
collect the 6th man on OK team.
That wasn't an option either.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's
okay.
like it's basically like what I want to collect, like Bruce Brown or Taylor Horton Tucker or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
There you go. I totally agree. But interesting question, Jake. Jake,
The hobby's given the answer to this.
Yeah, Jake, if you have an argument for the other side, I'd love to hear it.
Like Robert Horry. I'm pretty sure Robert Horry gets no love.
He wasn't the worst player, though. Big shot.
I mean, like, it's just whatever. It's like, literally the worst guy. Like, he doesn't even play. Come on, be a little more reasonable.
This comment right here. Worst player on a bad team, Russell Westbrook.
Wait, thank God I gave up on that Russell Westbrook collection. Am I right?
Nah, dude. Westbrook is going to turn it around. This happens with him every time he goes to a new team. Every time.
And then he flames out in the first round. You're right. You're right.
The trajectory of Russell Wilson is a middle finger graph. He starts off slow, peaks in about January, February, looks like an MVP, and then first round he's gone. Okay. Show Your Slabs says, discuss the big money being pumped into the hobby, either behind investments in companies or purchasing companies that are involved in the hobby in some way. And shout out to Corey of Show Your Slabs, who is a hobby company. And so I think I understand why he's interested in this question.
We just heard it straight from Ken directly that it's happening. It's real. Like, there's actually super rich people coming into this hobby and wanting to buy the best stuff. It's not fake. I've seen these people firsthand. Ken talked about it. What other explanation do you have other than, like, look at these prices? Like, it's happening. Institutional money is here. There's no real turning back. It's not like these people are staking their flags in the ground. They're making companies. They're making funds. They are fractionalizing cards. Like, it's here. So I, I'm not sure what else to say.
That's great, man. That's good. Drake's PC has 2 questions, and one he reiterated. He sent it last week. We didn't get to it, and then he reiterated it this week, so let's do it. He says, when it comes to, this is the question, when it comes to patches, the NBA logo, man, and the NFL shield are number 1. But how would you rank the following patches, number 2 through 6, after them? Laundry tag, nameplate, brand logo such as the Nike swoosh, team logo, number piece.
Is this like a personal thing or like hobby?
How would you rank them?
Team logo, nameplate. People like the branding, like the swoosh. I think it's lame. Like you could put a Nike swoosh on any jersey. I want something that connects me more to the player and connects me to the team as best it can. Like the team logo is usually like a lot of crazy stuff going on. Nameplate is like, again, connecting me to the player. What are the other ones? The laundry tags are cool. I know people like laundry tag, but I'm not a huge fan. I'd probably go laundry tag and then brand. What's after that?
Nameplate, number piece.
What's number piece? What do you mean? Like part of the jersey number?
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess I'd go logo, nameplate, number piece, laundry, brand.
Interesting.
What about you?
Laundry tags often get associated with like one-of-ones. I have a McCaffrey National Treasures laundry tag one-of-one. I hate the way laundry tags look. It's just me. Laundry tags are supposed there's a reason why the laundry tag is on the inside of the uniform. Nobody cares what it looks like. It's not aesthetic. It's just there to have information on it. But the information is kind of cool, but just aesthetically it doesn't really pop on a card.
It's literally like a tag. It's like a freaking, like, people cut tags off their clothes. They hate them so much. One of my CP3 exquisites is a laundry tag, but it also has the Hornet on it. So I'm like, I'll give it a pass because it's like the logo with the laundry. It's got the Reebok logo. It's a little bit weird.
Got it. Okay. And another question from Drake. Why are booklets less desired? The patches are usually larger, and also many people just keep their cards in a safe and they're otherwise not displayed. So I wouldn't think size compared to a regular card matters that much.
It does, though. I saw that question, and I really appreciate the question. I get what he's trying to say. But the size and the shape of the card, the dimensions of it really matter, dude. Like we've just like really conditioned ourselves to love the 2.5 by 3.5 shape and size of it. And also the other piece of it is that the slabbing of it, the grading of a regular card is really nice. And those booklets the slabs look so weird. And it's very awkward to slab it. You've seen the humongous fucking Beckett slabs on those where it's like they're way spacing around it. You know what I'm talking about? It's just awkward. Like so like the slabbing of it, I think I would say the slabbing of it is the most important like aspect to it that maybe get unnoticed. Like I wouldn't even grade a booklet, because I'd be so annoyed about the slab.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of booklets either. I kind of just skew conservative on questions like this. Like I'm stuck in my ways. I like what I like. The cards are more than enough for me. Booklets are adding another variable I don't really need to mess around with.
It's kind of like memorabilia. Like it's making a little bit more memorabilia.
Yeah, it is.
Give the next question yourself. I got it. Hold on.
Okay. The next question is a good. Well, Josh would want to say something about this one. Okay, Paulie's Collectibles said, let's say PSA reopens its bulk submissions tomorrow. What effect does that have on the market, if any? I personally think, Paulie, that will have an enormous effect on the sports card market. It will reopen and re-engage grading and flipping, and it will make buying into breaks of products like Prism a lot more exciting, and it will probably end up infusing a whole new round of capital, to use a buzzword. It will end up infusing a lot of money back into the hobby that currently isn't able to be infused because the grading and flipping thing is really tough to do right now. So I think PSA reopening its bulk submission tier would be a huge boon to this industry. And, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that the hobby started tapering off in March and went on a steady decline for about 4 months or so, like we talked about with Ken. I don't think it's a coincidence that coincided with PSA closing their stores. I think those two things are positively correlated.
No disagreement.
Yeah, okay. This one comes from Benor 14 Sports Cards. I'm starting an Allen Iverson collection.
Fuck yes.
What are your 3 favorite cards or inserts, not from 96, but from 97? Because I know Iverson was a rookie in 96, but I prefer the black-white jersey that's in 97, 98. And so we have quite a few Iversons, not quite a few. We have a sampling of Iverson 97, 98 cards that I wanted to pull up on Card Ladder that we can look at as we talk about this.
Who is this asking this question? What's his account?
The account is BENORE, Benor14 _ sports cards.
Benor14, you are in the right world, my friend. You're asking the right people. You're on the right track. I love 1997 for 90s collectors that are not rookies. It's just like the pinnacle, man. You collect Jordan 97. It's fucking the best. Go ahead.
It is the best. I'm just showing some of the cards we have in Card Ladder from the year 97 of Allen Iverson.
Dude, this whole like non-GOAT collecting thing right now has me so hyped. Like I just feel like that you and I can start this revolution of like people not only like getting into it more, but like being excited about it. Like there's been this sort of thing in the last year, I would say in the last year, where if you're not collecting Jordan, LeBron, there's something wrong with you or something, or it's like, why aren't you just collecting the GOATs? Those are the guys that like hold the value. They're the best investment. The value of everything, values, price, whatever. And I just feel like, we talk about a lot on this show where the collectors are the ones holding up this market in general. Like we're the ones deciding, we're the tastemakers. We're deciding where the market goes. You've seen all this rare stuff go bonkers. You've seen the base stuff flatten out, the PSA 10 stuff flatten out on those base rookies, because the tastemakers, the ones holding up the market, are the collectors. We're the ones moving the market, deciding where things go. And a lot of collectors don't have the means or the finances to continue to collect stuff at $100,000. And we've seen it tonight. Stuff's very, very expensive. So if you can find stuff of, Allen Iverson's a freaking Hall of Fame basketball player. He's a generational talent. He's one of the most popular players of all time. If you can dive into that collecting of Allen Iverson, find that off-rookie stuff that excites you, I couldn't be more in favor of that kind of collecting, that sort of mindset right now than ever, because, all the money right now is pouring into this LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, Trout, Mahomes stuff. And there's just so much potential, so much capital that could be put towards all these other guys. I'm rambling now, but
do you want to give them like 1 or 2 insert sets that you really like?
97? I mean, Jesus Christ. What do I like?
Wrong, right?
Like fucking rubies, PMGs, platinum portraits, fucking like 97 is just a haven for cards. Like honestly, it's like, I almost want to tell you which ones to avoid, because it's like you're going to go down this rabbit hole and you're going to be spending $200,000 on Allen Iverson cards just from 1997. Honestly, there's so much.
Yeah, no doubt. Good. All right.
Do you have anything to add, dude, to my rant? Like No,
I have nothing to add to that. I'm completely on board with that one. I think 97 is the best year cards ever made. So
that's really not much of a debate, is it? It's like 2003 versus 97.
Yeah, those are the 2 best years.
I vote
Like,
7.
Christina votes 97.
Man, can you just like if you were a Tim Duncan collector, it's like your rookie year of the best, and Peyton Manning's rookie year is '98. You guys should be having a fucking field day, and like anyone not having fun collecting Duncan and Peyton Manning and Tracy McGrady and guys from that rookie year, it's like
Totally. I totally agree. All right. Let's squeeze in a few more here. Sports Cards 1532 has a market question. Over the next decade, will 90s basketball outpace 50s baseball in terms of appreciation percentage and popularity?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because to me, I feel like I'm talking a lot, Chris. So like, please jump in. But I feel like the number one reason that sports cards have done so well is not COVID, is not investor bros, is not social media. It's people from our generation, our age group, having more money, having nice paying jobs, getting back into what connects them to their childhood and their favorite athletes. That's the number one reason the hobby has taken off. And that age group, you and me, the 30s, as we get into our 40s and 50s, that's going to take off more than people that grew up in the 50s. I don't know. That seems simple to me.
100%. And that's one thing that I loved about taking this back to Bleeker. David, 90s basketball cards in the chat, is a great example of this. A lot of people that I met there were in their 30s or in their 40s and who are just like us, just like us. So, yeah, he is off flips.
Sorry.
No, he's not. Dude, this is great, man. This is good content here. So I totally agree with that. I don't have anything to fucking disagree with or add, honestly.
Christina knows why I'm going off, so just keep going.
Let's keep going. This relates to a poll that I put on Instagram today, but Mike Pinkerton has taken it in a slightly different direction. He says, "What is a better investment today? A $100,000 grail, or 10 $10,000 grails? Spread the risk a bit." And like what I put on my story was, would you rather own one $100,000 card or $100,000 cards? That was the one I put on my story. And like the results were like 50-50. And like usually if I get 50-50 results on a poll, I feel like I made a pretty good poll. So what do you think? If Mike wants to know what's a better investment, we could talk about it from that point of view or not, or just what would you rather have?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty obvious answer for me. I would rather have the $100,000 card because I just, I like less things. But, I texted you before the show tonight. The zag right now is to do the opposite of what I always say, which is like to unconsolidate, and like stuff is just so expensive, man. Like I'm not going to pay $300,000 for in my opinion, a bland triple auto. I'd rather have like 30 cards at, do the math, $10,000, right? Like it just, I don't know. It just seems like the pendulum has swung so far in favor of what I've been saying all along, which is like consolidating these monster cards, and I just feel like at this point, as a collector, I would rather have mail days. I'd rather like keep collecting.
There you go. That's the new zag. Unconsolidation.
I feel like I've been the face of consolidating, and then the people who are like listening to me are like, "Fuck! I just sold all my shit. You fucking dick! You just told me to."
I'm still firmly in the consolidation camp. So.
Okay, so yeah.
So you're reporting 4 Christian McCaffrey golds.
But I would love to trade them all for the one black. I would do it in a heartbeat.
You would trade all 4 of those golds for one black?
I would have to add money.
He's like, what are you adding? Did you have any update on that? The select or anything?
No. The select guy, he was found. Justin 610 texted me the next morning. He's like, I was laughing when you doxed the guy who has and he must have gotten a number of people to get his attention because all of a sudden his Facebook group becomes active and like I get approved into it. I'd been waiting for a long time to get approved into it. And he finally replies, but he's like, I sold it 2 years ago. And then he passed me on to the guy that he sold it to. And then that guy, the trail ran cold with that guy because I was like, dude, could you help me like find who you sold it to? And he didn't know. So
Christina, what's it like being with a loser?
I don't know. What does Jess say?
Wow.
Jeez.
She wasn't messing around. And then the Prism Black, I'm still waiting, still waiting on the Prism Black. So, but there's a pink card. Let's just poll the chat. If you guys start bidding on this card, you can have it because I'm not going high on this card. But
Guys, just tell him no. The answer is no. Before he pulls it up, I'm gonna
Don't do
I'm
it.
gonna gas the chat. No. Just show it. Hurry up.
What's wrong with this? Let's just see. Okay, Christina, what happens? The chat sees it and it goes for $1 trillion, and then all our other one-on-ones look amazing.
Based on who's already auctioning it, it probably will anyway.
Well, then we're not going to win it. So just relax. You're so fucking paranoid. All right, let's go.
No. God. No. Just
take a look at this beauty.
I gotta draw the line somewhere, Chris. Of my. What the fuck?
A lot of people don't know that there are two field level one-of-ones from 2017 select football. There are two. There's the black and the pink. And the pink in a PSA 9 is on auction with Probstate.
Let me give you some advice.
$290.
If you look at a card and you can't tell if it's a 1-of-1 or out of a 999, like if you look at that and I was like, is this a 1-of-1 or out of 200 or out of 199? You were like, I don't know, it looks like a 199. If you can't tell the difference, then you probably shouldn't be treating it as such.
On the contrary, my friend.
The colors.
Wait, don't step on my line. Hold on. Let me try that again. Stop. Let me start again. God damn.
Oh my God, you think.
I'll mute.
On the contrary, my friend, let the marketing games begin.
You're so stupid.
Did that make you feel good?
It's a good inside joke if you get it.
I'd love to be a part of one day.
Now, what do you have, Christina? Talk about how beautiful the colors are. The red and the pink actually do look pretty good.
I'm just saying that it looks very Saved by the Bell 90-ish.
See, it's like powering the key or something.
I'm not a fan of this card, but...
Oh, dude, if Christina doesn't like it, come on, bro.
Then let it stay low. Stay low.
Hey, if you can win it for like $600, more power to you.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought about the card on Golden tonight, and it went for fucking $85,000. I'm like, well, I guess the secret's out. I don't know what
Okay, how did we get on
The biggest secret is someone bought that card for you, Josh.
No one bought an $85,000 card for me.
Yep, the entire crossover watch party, all put in $10.
Kickstarter. See, Grant says I like that more than the black. Stay away, Grant.
Grant, go to sleep, dude. It's pretty late for me, bro. You owe me money anyways. Go figure out how to pay me, and then we'll talk.
Too late for that move. Sports card Poppy. Too late. Okay. How did we get to talk about the pink? All right.
Because you just it's on your brain. You just can't get over it.
No, I can't. Beach Wax Collectibles says.
Show us your watch list.
Do you want to see my watch list?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Fuck no, I don't.
Christina's really paranoid now. Okay.
Let's go 101 base cards on there.
Let's go. All right. B2S Collectibles says Josh has talked about storing cards in binders.
Yes,
Not liking
thank
to have
you.
no boxes of top loaders.
Yes.
I'm looking to make this transition. Some of my player collections, which are raw, are getting out of control, and I would want to be able to look at them in an easier fashion. I would love to hear about Josh's favorite binders and pages, whether he uses penny sleeves before inserting into the page, and other nerdy organizational thoughts.
Yes. Love this question. Yes. Yes. I prefer binders over top loaders because it's more fun to consume the cards in a much more efficient fashion. I penny sleeve the cards and I put them in my zip folio binders. They are like indestructible fucking binders. Like they literally zip up and I can throw it across the room and nothing will happen to any of the cards inside. And the pages are very, very high quality. They're thick. They're double-sided. So I have Penny Hardaway Zip Folio. I have a Pokemon. I have 2 Pokemon. I have another basketball, like others that are not Penny Hardaway. And like once a month, I pull out all my Zip Folio binders and I just thumb through them. It's amazing.
There you go. There you go. I just
My
got
Penny Hardaway binder is undervalued. It's probably worth, my Penny Hardaway binder is literally worth like 20 grand. There's some big time cards in there.
That's awesome. All right. Cards and Candy 911.
Wow, late to the game.
To know which of these two will last longer in the hobby? National Treasures RPAs or Prism Golds?
What do you mean last longer? I saw this question.
I'm not sure what that means.
You want to hear my smart ass answer?
Yes.
They're both going to stop at the same
It's
time because they're
2025.
That's pretty good,
Did you know
right?
that, Cards and Candy?
That's pretty good, right?
That is-
I'm going to play the game and say I'm gonna say NTRPA because the 99 has more history than the out of 10. That's my answer.
So simple, exactly. Panini invented the gold out of 10.
Yep, and
the RPA at a 99 goes back to exquisite. So I agree with that.
Boom.
Yep, I think that's the first part and the most important part of a way to answer that question.
But the real answer is Kaboom Gold is the future.
Yeah,
I'm out.
that's
Bye.
now we're using our big brains. Okay,
Our big brains.
2 questions left.
Doing the Lord's work.
2 questions left. We didn't have Saturdays don't get a ton of questions. All right. Dirty Vegan says, I have searched high and low to no avail. Is 2020 NBA Flawless Basketball going to be released?
No.
And we talked about this with Ken, and I don't think anybody knows. And he also points out, and if it is going to be released, is it possible that it could come out, a rookie year product could come out when the players are finishing their 2nd season? And that's silly, but certainly possible.
I already think it's awkward as fuck that LaMelo Ball rookies could potentially come out now. Like,
Dude,
I
they
didn't
are
think that.
coming out right now. When we bought 2 boxes of Optic Basketball, and
People are asking about Optic right now. They're like, I've been getting DMs about Optic LaMelo, and I'm like, isn't that product super old? And you know, I'm an idiot about modern product. I'm like, wait, that's coming out right now? What the fuck? It's very awkward.
that's right. Okay, last question. Corner Taken Quickly says, I know F1, UFC, and soccer are some of the world's most popular sports, but what percentage of people buying them are actually watching the sports on a regular basis? And does it even matter?
Well, you know, people really want to drive the narrative that like the most popular sports should be the most collected, and I've stated many, many times that the collectability and like the hobby itself are what drives the interest, and the sport is the secondary. Like baseball and basketball are the most collected, and like they have the most collector base support, and they have the most history towards them in the hobby. So those are the ones that drive it. And like fucking table tennis is a popular sport. I don't really know anybody collecting table tennis or cricket. So like it's not just that. I know that like people want to make it that because it's just a really easy thing to point to. But those sports that were named are starting to come out with really cool sets. Like I think the F1 Topps Chrome is really cool. I think a lot of the soccer stuff is really cool looking. And what was the third one?
F1 soccer.
And UFC.
UFC.
And I know that the like Panini is putting a lot of their efforts behind UFC. So or like is it Panini that prints UFC right now?
Yep.
Yeah, so like if the trading card companies are putting their brand and their efforts behind these sports, then yeah, like you could get excited about it.
Right on. I'll tell you here. I'll just sprinkle on this. I was not actively, intensely watching modern NBA basketball until Christina and I started collecting it.
Yep.
And the hobby, I watched games. I would watch the NBA Finals. I watched playoffs from time to time. I'd turn on TNT, watch a game, but I was not into it like I am now. And, dude, that's one thing, like, first of all, I have a super hot take. I don't think the NBA is well marketed. I think the NBA could do so much better marketing. I think that they have completely dropped the ball on the sport.
Oh.
The NBA has the most pound-for-pound action of any sport, next to a heavyweight
superstars.
boxing match.
And superstars.
And superstars. And for the NBA to be in the NFL shadow, I mean, getting dwarfed by the NFL in America is a travesty because NFL football is outstanding. There's a lot of things to love about it, but it doesn't pack the same action that our short attention span society loves. NBA is that. It's that action packed every 10 seconds. There's action happening. Whereas in the NFL, it's like every 60. So I just think NBA, anyway, I don't even know how I got off. Oh, right. So collecting cards brought us into sports. The hobby is an excellent, everybody thinks it goes the other way. They think, oh, you have to like sports first and then you get to cards. No, there's another path where the hobby brings you into a sport. And I think that is happening with F1, UFC, and soccer. And I think F1 it has a really good shot at that working the best because they race all the time. And it's on like an NFL schedule where you get one race a week. UFC and fighting sports, I think, is difficult because your player that you collect only fights once every 6 months. I think that's a huge hurdle that makes it difficult to stay passionate about it with intensity. But maybe there's ways to overcome that. Maybe you collect multiple athletes. I don't know. And soccer, I just have a hard time engaging with that sport personally. So I don't even have an opinion on that. But it does matter, dude. And people can start off on a sport by buying the cards, but before you know it, they're waking up at 3 a.m. to watch F1 races. So, yeah, there's huge marketing opportunities that these sports leagues should be tapping into by using the hobby to market their sport rather than using the sport to market the hobby.
That's fucking great. Dude, this hobby, man, like, we can probably end on this. And you can jump back in after, but like I think you're right. I think people are sleeping on the hobby. Like people they want to make the narratives around whatever they want. They want to make it around like the market, or they want to make it around the sport visibility, or like the international collectability of basketball. They want all these different things to be the driver, and it's like maybe the driver is just the fucking cards are sick, and like people really want to buy. People in modern world, they don't know what to spend their money on. Like, fucking buying TVs are boring. Buying fucking vacations are getting boring. They don't know where to spend their money. And so they're, like, throwing their money at all these alternative assets, right? Fucking crypto is stupid. It's boring. NFTs are stupid. Sports cards, physical, tangible things are fun. And, like, putting your money into these things is fun. I saw Victory Investments post a really interesting story. I know you saw that, where it was like, I have money in real estate, I have money in crypto, I have money in stock market. They're boring. They bore me. I don't like it. If I can make the same or better returns on sports cards, and I can have fun. I can watch my favorite athletes. I can use that as a driver to connect me to more sports. I honestly can't think of a better investment in terms of like your overall happiness and fun, and, you know, financial future and financial freedom. Like I went on this big long rant last week about. It's just like the perfect storm of everything. So I'm with you, man.
Totally, dude. I keep thinking about that, like trying to understand cards over and over again, because like I still don't have
The prices.
not just the prices, but like why do we do this? Why are we so passionate about this? Like, and like I sort of like zagged into like leaning into like sports cards are very silly, and so like there's something appealing about how simple and childish they are. But like the zag to that is like actually though sports cards are like this incredibly intense, engrossing game that we all play, and it's like Pokemon or something, like for people who love Pokemon as a game. But just the rules are different. But it's just like its own game. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what this thing is that we're doing, you know. But like I'll tell you, like no matter what angle I think about it from, there's just so many things that make me so bullish about it. But it all starts with just the fact that like doing cards is so much better than not doing cards. It just, that really like is the bottom line, is like if I took cards out of my life would, you know, not nearly be as good. So as long
how often do you think about this, where like life is pretty short. Like we just, you know, we're on this planet for a little bit of time. It goes pretty fast. We move through life. We make all these decisions. How much time and energy and effort and focus we've put into this pretty niche, I'll use your word, silly thing. How much do you think about that? Like we're fucking like, we're not gonna be on this planet much longer, and we're spending so much time on cards, the silly like cardboard. What is that? What is that?
it's no more or less, I think about this, it's no more or less silly than people who throw a ball around on a grass field. Or people who stand up in a room and talk to each other about esoteric intricacies of containing pieces of paper that were written 20, 30, 100, 200 years ago. That's law. It's not any more or less silly than anything, man. Everything is silly if you really think about it. Everything is silly, and if you really, really want to think about it, you know, there's something to be said about balance. And you know, you find things that are meaningful to you, you find things that are fun, and you just if you can strike the right balance with all of them, then that's probably the right solution. It's like cards should not be, even though they are, they should not take over your whole life. There should be balance. There should be volunteering. There should be reading. There should be exercise. There should be thinking. There should be all these things that should balance with cards. But because cards are so addicting and so much fun, we just end up obsessing over them, and they take so much time.
I was thinking about, you know, like me selling the LeBron and having this like sort of, and I talked about this like financial freedom stuff last week, and a lot of people really, I got a lot of messages about that. A lot of people want to buy my cards, Chris. I get so many DMs about these cards.
Is that your most asked about?
Right. I got a lot of DMs about, you know, people just like how I spoke out about, you know, frugality and financial freedom and that sort of thing. And I know you and I sort of differ on this topic a little bit, but like I was thinking about like because of this LeBron sale and like things set up, what if I just move more towards some other aspect and get away from cards, right? Like people are looking at me and thinking like, hey, he's selling stuff, maybe he's going to get away from cards and he's going to focus on some new. I'm never going to move away from cards. You know, like I'm always going to have some sort of, I'm always going to be collecting something. There's always going to be some new challenge. There's always going to be some new content that I need to jump into, or some sort of angle that I want to play that I like about it. Because there's just so many sides to it. There's so much there's so many ways you can get into it. There's so many social aspects to it. There's so many people involved, and I'm gonna do other things, and they'll keep me busy for a little while. But like cards are always gonna kind of be the thing I go back to.
There you go. That's a pretty good note to end on. I'd say. I don't want to follow that. I think that's a good note there to end on. So we got a little bit of the philosophy of card collecting there.
Only on the crossover. You're not getting this shit anywhere else. What do you think about? Do you think Tyler Hero's undervalued? Let's talk about that for the next hour. Do you think kabooms are going to be the next, fucking PMG? That's the content people really want.
What are yeah?
I get so many DMs about my LeBron, whatever the fuck.
Oh shit! No.
We got a shit out of him. I think you said fucking shit tonight. This is great.
Yeah, it definitely an hour or two and later, but it did happen.
Mr. Conservative Chris said fuck and shit. Let's go.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's crossover. Next week, we'll be back in 6 days.
That's like a Monday Night Football short week.
Yeah, that's exactly. And we don't take bye weeks. See you guys.
Card Ladder, the best sports card app on the market. The future of sports cards is here. Card Ladder is the 21st century price guide and market analysis tool for sports cards. The best tools to help you track your cards. Watch the trends, stay informed, compare cards, and track the growth of your personal collection, all in one simple and intuitive platform. Join the innovators, not the imitators. The future is here. The future is now. Card Ladder.